Hello everyone and welcome to Central City, Channel 20. My name is Mike Keeler and behind the camera is Mr. Patrick Duffy. We're here to bring you a little bit of history of Central City. I know when you come up here to visit, you always ask people, what is that building like or what's in that? Well, today we're going to take you in to the Teller House, built in 1872, and then from there on, hopefully every week we're going to get you into a new building and let you know a little bit more of the history. But today I want to introduce you to somebody. His name is Mr. David Forsythe, and he is the museum manager here and director, and he is our historian for today, so we will be asking him a lot of questions. David, come on in. Welcome. Welcome. Mr. David Forsythe. David, how long have you been doing this here?
10 years.
10 years. Do you still give the tours for people, or do you have people that do that for you?
I give them on special occasions.
Just special
Otherwise, I have people do it for me.
Well, I know you've written a book too. What was that book called?
Images of America, Black Hawk, and Central City.
Folks, if you got time to go out for that book, I would look at it. We're going to go ahead and shut down right now and go on inside so you can take a look. And Mr. Forsythe here will give you a grand tour of the most beautiful building around. Well, here we are in the infamous face bar, they call this. But before we show you that, we're going to take you around the room with Dave and kind of explain some of these murals around the walls. Hopefully Patrick can get that on his camera, but Dave, what about some of these? Can you pick out a couple for us? How about the one right behind me?
Okay. Yeah, these were all done in 1932 by local artist named Pascal Quackenbush. And they were attempting to restore what had been here before. But Quackenbush was known for his sense of humor, so he recreated what was in here. He also put mistakes in all of them. So like for example, this one behind me here, the guy is ready for battle, but there's no blade in his sword. And he also has two different shoes on. One is open toe and one is and then the one right next to it, with the lady there, the swan's head is on backwards.
Every one of these, how many are there? About 8?
There are 10 of them. There actually used to be 11. The one was destroyed back in the 50s.
Oh, wow. But anyway, this is the infamous bar, face on the bottom floor, that you've heard so many things about. People come from miles and miles just to come up and see this space. And it is actually here on my left, and hopefully Patrick can get a good shot of it for you. And I'll let Dave explain a little bit more of it to you as Patrick shoots at.
There are actually two stories as to how she got here. The legend version is the one that most people have heard, which is that down in the artist came to the bar one night, he needed a drink, and so he offered to do this painting in exchange since he didn't have any money. It's supposed to be his one true love that he lost, and as soon as he finished it, he let out a cry and dropped dead on top of it. That's actually the story from the poem that Face on the Bottom Floor by Antoine D'Arcy. The true story is that she was painted in 1936 by a Denver artist named Herman Davis. Ann Evans had hired him as a consultant on Western art for the restoration of the Teller House. They got into a huge fight one day. She decided she was going to fire him because she didn't like it when people argued with her. And so he broke into the building and painted the face as sort of a protest at getting fired. This was his form of vandalism. The woman in the painting is actually his wife, Juanita, but that was kept secret until he died because he was drunk in the bar when he painted it and wanted to work for the Prohibition movement. So I guess it was bad advertising for what she was trying to do.
Yeah. I heard that when he passed out on the floor or whatever, people were just walking over it, like he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. But anyway, you've heard it. You've heard both stories, and I kind of like them both, actually.
Yeah, I like the second one just because of the little twist at the end with her and the Prohibition movement.
Me too. I like that. They are both good. But anyway, that gives you an idea of what the face on the barroom floor was all about, and it shows you right here. Was it 1936 it was painted?
Yep, 1936. So she looks pretty good for an almost 80-year-old.
I'm telling you what, looks great. You know, it's a dark color, but I mean, you can still see her face pretty good on this. So.
And the eyes are very content.
They
almost
are.
follow you.
They do. They're looking at you right now. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and show you some more murals upstairs and one of their old telephones that they used to, that everybody that stayed here used at one time. So it'll give you an idea of what everything looks like up there too. So we'll be up there today. This is the elevator we were just talking about. As you can see, it's got solid bars in here, and the same lights are still in here. I just wanted you to get a look before we went on upstairs to show you the presidential suite and everything up there. We wanted to bring you up here and show you the public phone that everybody used in the hotel. We're right now on the second floor, and the second floor again is where the presidential suite is, and then just behind David is the grand ballroom that we'll take you in to show you the mural of. But this is what the phone looked like right here. I don't know if you can get it, Patrick, real good. But right here is the earpiece, and it's attached to the table itself, so you can't really take it out or I'd show you. A closer look, you can see the inside makings of the phone itself. But this was the only phone that they could use when they wanted to reach out.
The bell's still ringing.
Oh, the bell ring's still on the ringer, so that's also pretty cool. Anyway, there you go. I wonder when this was built, you know?
Early 1870s.
Holy mackerel.
This was the long distance phone. Wow. So this was down in the basement with the phone company.
I wonder how many times Grant used this phone.
Hard to say.
Wow. Interesting, huh?
Depends if there was a pressing business of state.
Wow. Anyway, we're going to go on and take you into the grand ballroom so you can look at the murals in there. Well, here we are in the grand ballroom, and I couldn't even imagine how many dignitaries dance in this room. This is the dancing area. On the other end, they use that as a cafeteria now or a kitchen.
Yeah, originally it was an eating room for the hotel. Like you said, this was a ballroom.
Wow, it's beautiful. The other thing that a lot of people don't recognize is just above us is a mural. And it's a beautiful mural, and I'll have Dave tell you a little bit about it.
We don't know if it's original to the building or not. It fits the style of the period when the hotel opened. It does fit the size of the room, but it is a piece of canvas, so it could have been something they found in another place and brought up here. One story I've heard that this is a painting of the goddess Eureka, but I can't figure out which one is supposed to be the goddess. It is signed, but we haven't been able to find anything about the artist. I personally think it probably is original to the hotel.
Wow, I think she's right here in the carriage.
Could be.
And then this is somebody just letting people know that she's coming, wherever she's coming from.
Yeah.
What about the little...
Those are just little cherubs. They show up a lot in Victorian era paintings. Very common.
So they actually took this canvas and sealed it up to the top of that ceiling. Wow.
And then the frame is either plaster or wood.
Gosh, it almost looks plaster.
Yeah.
Anyway, that gives you an idea of the mural that's up in the grand ballroom. And that'll do it for the grand ballroom today. So we're back again, everybody. We are now up in the presidential suite, which was Grant's favorite room. And like I said before, he'd spent many nights here. Him and Teller were very good friends. And up here on the wall to my right, you'll see a mural of Grant. Can we get that okay, Patrick? Just to give you an idea of how he looked then. And I'm going to let Mr. Forsyth here give you a little bit of history about this room. Even though you can see and you can feel the history in here, I'll let Dave tell you a little bit more.
They actually put the suite together for Grant in 1873 when he visited that year. That was his third visit to Central City, his second as president. And that was the time that they put $20,000 worth of silver bars from the Caribou mine on the front sidewalk of the hotel for him. Caribou was just outside of Boulder. Central City and Blackhawk were primarily gold mining towns, But the reason they didn't want to put gold on the sidewalk for Grant was they felt it was just too common of a sight here in Central City. And so they thought the silver would really grab people's attention. We used both gold and silver to back our money at the time, and so if Grant had appeared to be favoring or dismissing the silver by walking on it, it would have been very bad for him politically. And so being a smart politician, he walked around the silver and came in another door, which did not make people very happy, but it saved him a lot of political trouble. The reason Grant came here so often, Colorado was a major gold producer, which made it a major economic power. He was also very good friends with Jerome Chafee, who was one of the first two senators from Colorado when it became a state. They were known to play poker together, drink together, and Grant's son ended up marrying Chafee's daughter. And Chafee started his business here in Central City. And so he had personal friendships here, he had political reasons to come here. And they put this room together for him. This is actually a replica of the room, it's not the original room. But they were very hopeful that he would spend the night here, he and his wife, and they did not. They actually stopped, they had dinner in the private dining room, which is right next door here, and then they went over to Idaho Springs where they spent the night at the Beebe House. His carriage driver was a local, and he was known as a bit of a daredevil, and the way you got over to Idaho Springs was on the Oh My God Road. And so they said to his carriage driver, "How fast have you ever done that?" And he said 18 minutes. And so they dared him to do it faster with the Grants in the carriage, and so he took that dare and did it in 16 minutes.
And Oh My God Road is exactly the way it sounds, too,
Yes,
right?
yes. So in a carriage in 16 minutes, I can't imagine the Grants were very happy when they got to Idaho Springs.
Yeah. It's a pretty narrow road outside of town here, so if you ever get a chance to drive it during the summer, it's a beautiful drive. You just can't go as fast as he was going in that carriage, that's
No.
all. Right behind us is Grant's bed. Look, we've got stories about this too, and the one that I really enjoy the most goes into the paranormal, which we'll get into in one of our other shows another time. But they say that when the bedspread is wrinkled up and you walk away and you come back a few minutes later, it'll be all straight and neat. And why is that, Dave?
I would imagine it's just the personal preference of the ghosts. They don't like their bedspread messed up.
Yeah, I think it's more the maid. The maid likes to keep it perfect for him, so that's why it was like that. But as you can see, it's a beautiful room. If you get up here to look at it, you'll understand why. You can see some things you can't see, like the big glass cabinets. It looks like the old key holder for a room back there. We're going to take you on in to where Grant and his wife would have breakfast and lunch, and also some meetings in this room, and tell you a couple of stories in there. We'll be in there. And we're back. We are now in the breakfast, a little, I guess it'd be a restaurant area for him and his wife.
This was a private dining room, so VIPs could come in here and not be bothered by the crowds.
You mean VIP sat at this same table we're sitting at?
Yeah.
So I am now, Patrick, a VIP. You can call me VIP Mike. But anyway, again, you can just feel the history of this room. If you look around, look at the wallpaper itself. It's got kind of a felt material mixed into this, and it just brings out the room. Really, really bright colors in red. But he had a lot of meetings in here, and up above, if Patrick can get that on the camera, we can take a look at one of the most beautiful chandeliers around. And I'll let Dave tell you a little bit about that.
This chandelier actually came out of the state capitol building in Denver. It had been rumored for years, nobody was too sure about it. You can see the globes have the seal of the state of Colorado on them. But we actually had the Capitol historian come in here on tour a couple of years ago. And he came into this room and his mouth just dropped because they had been looking for this thing. They had no idea where this was, and here it was right in front of him. This came out of what was the treasurer's office, but is now the lieutenant governor's office in the Capitol. And they still have the matching chandelier, so there were two of them. And nobody has any idea how this thing got up here or when, but here it is.
So we own it now.
Yep, and it is a very cool light.
It is, it's beautiful, and I don't know how well you can see the engraving on that light with the seal of Colorado and the picks and the shovels and stuff like that. It's just really, really a neat chandelier. But anyway, we're going to go on into the next room and kind of show you a little bit about that also. But in the meantime, kind of take this in. Again, if you get up here, please come in and take the tour, because this is a beautiful, beautiful building. And we'll be up in the next room here in a few minutes. Welcome back again. We are now in Ann Evans Library, in the Ann Evans Library up here. And we want to give you a peek at all the rooms if we can do that. And this room again is a very beautiful room, and I'll let Dave tell you a little bit about this.
Ann Evans, as I mentioned down with the face, was one of the women who got the opera going again back in 1932. Her father was John Evans, who was the second territorial governor of Colorado and one of the co-founders of the University of Denver. And the furniture in this room belonged to the Evans family, and it was just brought up here as a memorial to her because she had done so much for getting the opera going again. Probably the most unique thing in this room is the chandelier. It's a combination gas and electric fixture, which you see a lot of in the building, but the shades on it are mother of pearl. So it's a very unique, beautiful fixture.
It is, it is. And as you can see, the wallpaper in here is that felt. And it's got what is that? It's this different touch.
It's called flocked wallpaper, and it was very common in the Victorian period. This actual wallpaper was put in 1952 as during as part of one of the restorations, but it is similar to what would have been in here when the hotel opened in the 1870s. It was known as one of the finest hotels in Colorado, and everything in here was the best that they could get.
Believe that. Is that her in that picture back there?
I don't know. I've never have figured out who that is.
I don't know. Patrick, can we get a shot of that if possible? That could have been her though. We don't know, but anyway, we're going to take you on through and try to visit a couple more places before we end our show. So we're gonna be over in the next room here in a few minutes. We are now here in one of the old hotel rooms on the 4th floor. Would it be considered the 4th floor?
Depends on which number system.
That's exactly right. How do you want to count it? But anyway, we wanted to give you a quick glance because really they don't give tours up in this floor. So I wanted to let Dave tell you a little bit about it. And I know if you see it, then you'll know kind of what they look like, but I don't think you'll ever be able to get up here on any of that.
No, the opera uses the 3rd and 4th floors for offices and rehearsal rooms, so they're not part of the tour. But people are always curious what the rooms look like, and this is one of the rooms. These were not large, glamorous rooms like you would get today in a hotel. They were pretty basic. You got a bed, a wardrobe, and a table with a wash basin on it, and that was about it. And you paid $3 a night for one of these rooms. They also had suites in the hotel, which there would have been a connecting door that led to a sitting room that was about half this size, and you pay $4 a night for one of those. And there was one sink and one toilet on each floor.
Yeah, and I think that's just right down the hall. And it was basically a pot, not a toilet. So, but anyway, we're going to go on, take you downstairs and finish up the show with one more last stop, okay? Welcome back again. We are now standing in the Terrace Club. And right behind me is a picture of a baby doe hanging here. And I wanted to make sure you got a good look at this picture because it is a neat picture. And it's on our way out the door towards the Opera House right next door, which we'll talk to you about in another show. I want to first say thank you so much for being with us and Channel 20 to try to make it a little bit different for everybody so they can be entertained at the history of this town. And I love this city, Central City. And we're going to have so much more for you in the future. Stay tuned with us. In the meantime, I'm going to let Dave tell you a little bit about Baby Doe right behind us. David?
Baby Doe is probably one of the most famous mining figures in Colorado. She was married to Horace Tabor, who was the Silver King, made his fortune up in Leadville. And in the first 11 years that they were married, they blew through $12 million, which would be about 240, 250 million today. And they both ended up dying flat broke. The Tabor connection to Central City, though, is that Baby Doe and her first husband, Harvey Doe, came here in 1877. Harvey's father had a mine called the 4th of July, and it was supposed to make the family's fortune. But Baby Doe ended up working it more than Harvey did because he liked to party and drink and have a good time. And they did stay here in the Teller house for about a week when they first got here, and then they were back and forth between Central City and Black Hawk. She did give birth to a son when she was living up here. The baby did die at birth, but there's a lot of speculation that the father may have actually been a department store owner from Black Hawk that she was having an affair with. And she and Harvey were divorced in Black Hawk in 1881, and she went from there to Leadville, where she met Horace. One of the stories as to how they met was that a guy named Billy Bush introduced them. He was an associate of Tabor, and he also happened to be the manager of the Teller house. So there might be something to that story.
Yes, I believe so. Also, during the December month, we use these rooms as the Tommy Knockers, and people will come in here and sell their wares and things like that. But if you've never been up here in December, come on up here and visit Santa Claus with the kids and take a look at some of the tables around here. But anyway, I want to once again tell you thank you. Thank you, David, so much for your time. We would love to be able to have you tour us in the Opera House on the next. Could you think about that for us? Okay. And we'll take you inside the Opera House, not only see the stage, but we're going to take you and explain to you what the light on is on that stage 24/7. They actually leave a light on. And then we'll take you back into the dressing rooms of the Opera House and give you a feel of what it's like back there, because my first time in there, it is huge in there. I didn't think it was that big until I got in there. So look forward to us going into the Opera House on our next visit. Again, Dave, thank you so much. And the Historical Society up here in Central City, we thank you so much. And please come back and visit us in another week or so for another show. Thank you.